There was a time I was having issues with praying. Like every time I wake up, I am so tired. I just don't want to pray. But you know what happened? I put my day into God's hand and I tell him exactly how I felt that day. God, I'm so tired. I don't feel like praying this morning. Please give me the strength to pray to you. I want to communicate to you. I want to put my day into your hands. And guess what? I've started praying, but I didn't know I have already prayed for a long period of time. But I started the prayer not willing to pray. So even if you don't want to pray, the solution is for you to pray. Welcome back again. Last week we discussed about prayer and we were able to define the meaning of prayer and why we should actually be praying. And does God actually want us to pray? He told us in Jeremiah 33 verse 3 that we should call on to him and he's going to show us great and mighty things. So prayer should be an attitude for us. It should be something we do all the time. Now that we know that God wants us to pray to him all the time, let us cultivate the habit of praying to God all the time. Today we are going to be discussing further about prayer, and also the topic is it actually possible to pray without ceasing? So some of you might think, is it possible for me to be praying all the time? Won't I go to work? Won't I do things around me? Yes, it is actually possible. Make sure you like, subscribe and share and leave a comment on your daily activities with prayers and how you make prayer your lifestyle. I would love to hear your comments about prayer. So, is it possible to pray without ceasing? I would like us to know that prayer is not an art, but it's like an attitude that comes from the heart that we should all do all the time. We should be in communication with God all the time. Is that actually possible? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. In 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 17, it says, pray without ceasing. NLT says that's another version. It says that never stop praying. It is actually possible to pray without ceasing. Everywhere we go, we can actually be in the act of prayer. I actually believe what Apostle Paul is actually saying in that verse is that we should put our day before the Lord. Like anything we do, our whole day, we should put God in it all the time. We should glorify him with everything we are doing. We should make sure we are telling God everything we are doing. It's the kind of relationship you have with someone. Let's think about it like a journal, like you reporting yourself to God. When you have a journal and you write everything in the journal, what happened and the day before. Remember when we were young and we just write stuff in the journal. Though we know nobody might respond to us, but we're actually communicating with the journal like we have a relationship with the journal. Same thing as with God. We know God is in heaven and he hears us. He actually wants us to come like baby-like to him. Talk to him, talk about your feelings, talk about what you are going through. Report yourself to God. Like, God, I thank you for this morning. There was a time I was having issues with praying. Like every time I wake up, I am so tired. I just don't want to pray. But you know what happened? I put my day into God's hand and I tell him exactly how I felt that day. God, I'm so tired. I don't feel like praying this morning. Please give me the strength to pray to you. I want to communicate to you. I want to put my day into your hands. And guess what? I've started praying, but I didn't know I have already prayed for a long period of time. But I started the prayer not willing to pray. So even if you don't want to pray, the solution is for you to pray. My mom is very funny. Like anytime I tell her, oh mom, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that, I'm going through these issues, her answer is, have you prayed about it? She doesn't have any solutions to give you than to pray. Same thing as people. It baffles me that anytime we are going through issues, the first person we go to is people around us, people that cannot even help us. And it is when they neglect us or when they don't have a solution to what we are going through, that is now when we remember God. But it's supposed to be the other way around. We are supposed to go to God first. In any issues we are going through, pray to him, tell him what is going on with you, tell him about your feelings. Then guess what? My favorite prayer point is, God directs my step. It is going to set those people that you went to meet first to help you, and their heart is going to be so soft towards you, and they will actually favor you. God will direct your step to people that you go and meet that are going to favor you. That is what prayer does. So before you tell anybody what you are going through or the situation you are passing through, or casting your burden with them, how you feeling, make sure you go to God first, and He's going to direct your step. Not that we don't need people, we need people. God is going to send people to us, but God is there to direct yourself on the person to go and meet, or who is going to help you in that solution. So let us do it the right way, praying to God first. Praying to God first in every situation. And we shouldn't wait till anytime we are having issues to pray with God. That is why it says pray without ceasing. Because even if we have actually told God in the beginning, and before we go into the car we have actually prayed, before we eat we've actually prayed, anything we are doing we've actually prayed, we won't even get into some situation we find ourselves in some days, because we have put God forward in our life. So the problem will not even come in the first place, because God is there in the first place. But it's the other way around. We don't put God in our life, we don't pray to God, we don't have a relationship with Him, we don't tell Him some of the simple problems we are even going through. The freezer is not working, God take control. Oh Lord, what is happening with my television? It's not working, God take control. God, I can't pay my rent, God take control. We're not telling Him all this, though it might look small to you, but He's there to help us. Jesus said, cast all your burden onto Him and I will give you rest. Cast all the burden onto God and He's going to give us rest. Guess what? When you cast your burden onto human beings, they're going to be tired of you. They're going to say you're always complaining, you always this, you always that, you always come with problem. Human beings are going to tell you that. But guess who is not going to leave nor forsake you? God. God will never leave nor forsake you. He is there to hear all your burdens. But make sure before you cast all your burdens, make sure you are thanking Him for all He has done before. So we're going to go into that next week about how to pray effective prayer, not just casting all your burdens all the time, but making sure you are actually doing it the right way. You are adoring Him, you are praising Him all the time. But I would like us to say that we can pray without ceasing. We should see God as a gist partner. Yes, you can see God as a gist partner in your life. It says, the 1 Thessalonians 5:7 says, never stop praying. It's possible. Instead of you gisting with a friend that is not going to give you a solution, or is just hearing your thoughts, your ideas, and hearing your everything going on in your life just to talk about you to the next person, you can actually tell God, and guess what? God will direct your step. He's going to do everything possible to help you. God is the one with the solution. God is the one with the solution. So be free to talk to God. Tell Him, don't wait till you get into problems before you start having a relationship with God. Have this type of consciousness in you. What I mean like consciousness is that making sure that in your thoughts all the time, mentally you are praying. Mentally you have God's presence around you. You could try that with like listening to Christian music that can lead you into prayer. You have God's presence around you in your room, in your house. Everything around you is leading you into prayer. You can have Bible quotes all around you. When you are in your car, you are listening to songs, you are listening to sermons, you are praying mentally, you are praying inside you. I remember a time I went for an interview and I was just praying inside of me. God, direct myself, help me, let me say the right thing at the right time. I was talking to God like, God help me, So sometimes I get into little issues and I just tell God in me. So you can pray inside of you. We can't be on our nails all the time. We have to go to work. Some of us are professionals. You have to go to work. You can't be on your knees all the time praying like we do pray in the church, or we do pray in our closet like Daniel did in his closet, We can't do that all the time, but we can actually pray mentally, making sure that we have God in us all the time. We are conscious of our environment. We are telling God everything. And we are saying, God, we depend on you. God, help us out. It's just the consciousness that God is with you all the time. Know that God is with you all the time. When you know someone is with you all the time, you talk to them, right? Remember when we were small, we have imaginary friend. God is more than our imaginary friend. Just know He is with you. Talk to Him like an imaginary friend. you know, and he is going to help you all the time. He is going to follow us everywhere we go to, so we can actually pray without ceasing. Before you start something, before you end something, pray and always thank him. Father, I thank you. I thank you for seeing me through. You get back from work, you are praying. On your way to work, you are praying. Every single day, have this consciousness that God is with you. So when you have this consciousness that God is with you, that will help you to pray all the time. So I would like to summarize everything I've been saying, that prayer is a continuous fellowship with God. And let us know all the time that God is with us. So when you know that God is with you, you communicate with him all the time. Because guess what? God is the only one that can actually help us. He's not going to carry your gist to another person, except to the person that is going to help you. You know, except to the person that is going to help you. That is what God can do. So instead of gisting with your friends, instead of telling your problems with people that would think you are a body, you can actually pray to God all the time. You can actually talk to God all the time about your issues, about your daily, everyday activities. Talk to him like a friend, and you're going to see how he's going to come through for you all the time. Thank you so much for listening to me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And next time, we're going to be talking about effective prayer. How should we actually pray? Have a nice week and stay blessed. Make sure you pray. Make sure you read your Bible all the time, and make sure you have this consciousness of God with you, and God is with you. So communicate with him. Since he's with you, communicate with him, you know. Have a nice week. Bye everyone. Bye.